we're talking about the current healthcare system. We mentioned John Delaney, how the one thing he is doing is trying to keep people from getting healthcare. And, there's this delusion that somehow the status quo of our healthcare is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay for anybody. We're all, so many people, unless you are the 1% of the 1%, are just one emergency away from catastrophe, or one health situation away from bankruptcy. In fact, healthcare bills are the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States. And here is another reason why that sort of thing happens. This is from NPR, Nice Polite Republicans. First came kidney failure, then there was the $540,842 bill for dialysis. So here's the story. For months, Sovereign Valentine had been feeling progressively run down. The 50-year-old personal trainer who goes by Sov tried changing his workout and diet, no avail. Finally, one Sunday, he drove himself to the hospital in the small town of Plains, Montana, where his wife, Jessica, happened to be the physician on call. I couldn't stop throwing up, he said. I was just toxic. Turned out he was in kidney failure, and he needed dialysis immediately. So this is a guy, personal trainer, probably a relatively healthy dude. He's a personal trainer. All of a sudden started feeling sick, didn't know what was up. Why am I feeling run down all the time? Why am I tired all the time? Thought maybe he needed a diet change. Thought maybe then all of a sudden he felt real sick. Then he finds out that could happen to anybody. That could happen to anybody. But let's move on. Let's see more of his story. I was in shock, he said, but I was so weak I couldn't even worry. He was too sick to worry. He was admitted to a nearby hospital that was equipped to stabilize his condition and to get his first dialysis session. Social worker there arranged for him to follow up with outpatient dialysis 3 times a week. She told them Sov had 2 options, and both were about 70 miles from his home. So he had to go to a kidney care clinic in Missoula, Montana. Now, a few days after the treatment began, an insurance case manager called the Valentines, warning them that this institution, this Fresenius Kidney Care Clinic, was out of their network. And they're going to have to pay whatever the insurer didn't cover. And then the bills started coming. So this is a person who's insured, by the way. This is the patient. This guy, Sov, he goes by Sov, Sovereign Valentine. 50 years old, personal trainer in Plains, Montana. He is insured by Allegiance through his wife's work as a doctor in a rural hospital. The bill was $540,841. So the insurer paid about 16 of that. That's over $500,000 that he has to pay. And he has health insurance. He lives in rural Montana, so everywhere was 70 miles away from his home. So he had to travel 70 miles to find out, oh, by the way, that's out of your network. You're going to have to pay for whatever the balance is. What's my other option? Die. That's your other option. You die. When you're suffering from kidney failure, you have to go get dialysis. And in most cases, it's a weekly thing. I had that happen to a friend of mine. A friend of mine woke up one day, and now he's in a little bit of a different situation than this Sov person. My friend who I'm referring to has struggled with health problems his entire life. But one day he woke up and his lip was enlarged, like it was just like he almost looked like a cartoon, and he didn't know what the hell was going on. He drove to the emergency room. The lip thing turned out to be just some kind of bizarre, weird reaction to a medication, and it was or it was some type of allergic reaction. I don't remember if a medication was involved or not. This was a little while back, but anyway, the lip thing ended up being something totally unrelated. But they found out that one of the other things going on with him that could have kind of amplified it was that his kidneys were failing. He didn't even know. He had no idea. So they found out his kidneys were failing, and before he knew it, one day he's just going about his day. The next day, he wakes up with this big lip, wonders what the hell's going on, finds out what it is, and then finds out some other news. Oh, by the way, your kidney's failing. So he had to go get dialysis twice a week. Twice a week he was going to dialysis. At the time, I was homeless. I was living in my car as a road comic, so I'd spend a lot of my time during the week living in his guest area and taking him to and from dialysis. It gave me a place to crash, and it gave him some company and somebody to help him out. Wasn't a high time in either of our lives, by the way. We were both. He's healthier now. He's a lot healthier now. He ended up getting a replacement kidney, and he's doing really well now. So we both kind of think back to that time and sort of laugh about it. It was not a high point for either one of us, but so my point is that could happen to anybody. That could happen to you or me tomorrow. That could happen to anybody, and then before you know it, you're $500,000 in debt because of this broken, ridiculous system. I mean, think about that. Like, and this is somebody who has health insurance through, by the way, who was his health insurance through? His wife's work. What did his wife do? She was a doctor. This is the health insurance that doctors have. And even in that situation, something like this can happen. And when I say that, I'm not implying that a doctor deserves better health insurance than anyone else. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying that even in the medical field, it shows you how ridiculous broken our system is. It's not like this guy and his wife were self-employed in small business and didn't really have health care or something like that. Or they, purchased a not so great plan because they're like, oh, we're self-employed. We're just going to purchase a catastrophe plan. No, he's been insured his whole adult life. His wife's a doctor. You usually think like, oh, if someone's a doctor, you're going to get the type of plan that anyone will be happy to have. No, it turns out he had to travel 70 miles to get dialysis he needed. Otherwise, he was going to die. His kidneys failed. That'll be $500,000, please. This is a broken system. It is corrupt beyond repair. It is broken far beyond repair. And we need a single-payer Medicare for all system. That is what we need. Anybody who says they're going to build on Obamacare, they're going to build on Mitt Romney's health plan. Look, the insurance companies need to go bye-bye. They can't be left at the table the way they are now. They just can't be. It's like saying, hey, we got a pest control problem. Are we going to get rid of the pests? Or are we going to get rid of some of them, let some of them stick around? Compromise a little bit. We're gonna compromise with some of the pests. They can only chew up so much of the wood in the walls. Just a little bit of it. Joe Biden would tell you, you got to leave some of the pests around. So would John Delaney. So would Beto O'Rourke. And they're wrong. They're wrong big time. And they're not wrong because they don't know any better. They're wrong because the insurance companies, their donors, pay them to be wrong.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your